call me Big Timer, Big Daddy,
AKA
Game Changer,
AKA
that dude that be playing Magic,
AKA
that about to wipe your whole face up.
Call me Mr. No Fun, Mr. One-Sided.
I'm playing every Game Changer in the game back to back.
Ooh,
you ain't never won.
He's playing Dylon,
Dylon and Dylon, because I spit hot fire, bruh. Actually, it's your honorable sensei and across from me,
the vicious scumbag.
And together we are Longturnlarry Podcast. And we talking about this Game Changer list ain't long enough.
But before we get into this, I'm going to need you to like, comment, and subscribe.
Because it literally changes the game for us. We need this.
Ooh. Now, we're about to get into some of these cards that we think could have been, should have been, or might be, sooner or later, a game changer.
Game changer.
Let's get into it. So, what are game changers? If you don't know, that means you're under a rock, and welcome to the daylight. So, these are cards that the new Commander Brackets beta has put into effect. These are cards that Magic believes are considered powerful enough to make your deck turn into a 3 or a 4, and then that is on the cusp of the dreaded CEDH. So, if you haven't seen it on screen, these are the current game changers that are going to be already in effect. So as you can see, they're broken down by all of the monocolors and then multicolor and colorless. We're not covering these cards.
If you don't know, now you know.
Players.
So let's get into, I just want to reference one real quick. Mm-hmm. You see how we have Thassa's Oracle here?
She's so lonely.
She's so lonely. And by golly, she doesn't do much by herself.
No, she
does not. If you had a whole deck full of Thassa's Oracles, you'd eventually win the game once you cast a whole bunch of them. Because your devotion would be very, very high.
Yeah, it would increase
by 2 every time.
Mm-hmm.
But she doesn't win by herself.
No.
And the cards that sort of get her there probably need to be game changers as well.
Yeah.
We are talking Demonic Consultation, Tainted Pact, and Hermit Druid.
If you're unfamiliar with any of these cards, well, then feel blessed that you didn't have to deal with them in your play group. They're all doing generically the same thing, which is they're allowing you to, in effect, keep dredging cards and saying, oh, that's not the one I was looking for. And then, oh, that's not the one I was looking for, until you have no cards because, oh, wait, we never found the one you were looking for. And then you win because now you have no cards in hand no cards in library.
I think it's Tainted, you can, it specifically can be like a tutor. You keep exiling until you hit a card that you want to see to deal with whatever weird scenario that you're in. But typically these cards are used to combo off with Thassa's Oracle. And if you, let's just say they ban Thassa's Oracle, these cards are just going to be used to combo with the next specs option. Let's just put them where they sort of belong.
Yeah. We gonna put them in the trash. Now, I mean, agreed. I think the reason why they put Thassa's here instead of like Labman and Jace is because they don't draw cards on top of giving you the win. I think that's the only reason.
Well, no, it's the reason why they're not there is you can put Thassa's ability on the stack and then
win
and then cast Tainted Pact or Demonic Consultation, or
I get that.
Put Hermit Druid ability.
It's quicker and harder to interact with.
Right.
Yeah.
If I go to draw, you could just kill Labman. I just lose.
Oh, that's very true. You could, in response, blow up. And same thing with Jace. You could do the same concept
You
because
just blow it up.
they have the same wording. No, I get that. But agreed, if she got banned, they're just going to be the go-tos. Next, of course, we have No Fun in the Sun. These are just cards that, as you'll find, are kind of similar to, again, some of the ones on this previous Game Changer list that just kind of shut people out. A perfect example of this is Glacial Chasm. So other cards that are kind of similar in the same venue, is just going to be like Constant Mists, Humility, and Toxrill the Corrosive. Now, on the surface, these things do not do the same thing together. Honorable, why are we putting these all as the No Fun in the Sun category?
Constant Miss can legitimately stop players from being able to beat you, or especially if you're at a certain like level 2 or level 3, you might not be able to beat a Constant Mist.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know, that is a Turbo Fog ideology there. You're just,
pretty much. And then you buy back it by sacrificing a land.
Yep.
If you're in the late game, you really only need to be able to cast this maybe 2-3 times.
Yeah.
And there's nothing the combat deck can do.
Yep.
They can never kill you.
And if that's your win con, which is very common, just beating you to death, this one concept alone is very hard to deal with.
Humility is
hilarious.
Just a terrible, terrible card.
Oh, man. Shout outs to our Zanea that we were doing. Humility would be perfect for this because it would make everything be glorious 1/1s.
Just terrible. It's just like if Humility gets played, like a lot of decks can't come back from a Humility because sometimes the thing that helps you get rid of Humility is a creature.
Yes. Also, too, the person who's playing Humility is going to be prepped for this, and it's going to be all but almost one-sided for them. They're going to be prepped with Anthems. They're going to be a token deck that already made 1/1s, and they don't care. Oh, no, my Heir Apparent deck lost its abilities.
Yeah, I just don't think like a 2 would be able to
no way.
survive a Humility.
Agreed.
And that's the thing that we're sort of doing with these. Are these cards something that you could play in a 1 or a 2 and sort of be able to get away with?
Yeah.
Not really.
Yeah, exactly. None of the cards that we're going to talk about here would feel warm and fuzzy in one of those games. You're going to make people hate Magic, not in a fun way either. And then last on that list is Toxrill. If you're not familiar with the slug horror, he is horrifying. And it's the same thing. It's kind of like Humility. It's not going to be making them lose abilities, but it's just the fact that Toxrill is so oppressive, and the fact that -1/-1s get around indestructible, they get around damage prevention, they can be proliferated, and then you get card draw and slugs, and then it doesn't affect you. It only affects, because again, you're going to be building around this, and you want to see things die, and no.
Even if you're not building around this, like Toxrill just being played and then people not having an answer can just decimate. It's worse than a board wipe because a board wipe just sort of happens once.
Yep, and then it's done.
Toxrill comes around and it's like -4 for everything, and then if it does go around again, it's -8. Everything dies. You get slugs. You get card draw as well. Toxrill is just a whole house. I don't think it would be appropriate for a 1 or a 2 to have Toxrill.
And him not being a commander and being cheated out with reanimate, you know what I mean? Holy crap. You're talking, you just unboxed your winter pre-con and you're like, I'm going to play vehicles. And then the Toxrill player. Far too strong for what would seem to be overlooked power.
Right. Talking about broken legendary creatures, I see that we got Magda.
Everyone's favorite
Kennen.
dwarf. Ew, Kennen.
And we got Grand Augustine the 4th.
That's right.
And Turgid.
Yep. And then Yuriko and Winota.
Magda should be on this list.
If you don't know the Magda's tech, again, come out from under your rock because it's safe.
Magda, I've never seen a fair Magda, even the ones that aren't like super duper powerful. Even if you're, I'm not searching out, unwind. No, it's not unwinding clock. It's the other clock.
Clock of Omens.
Clock of Omens and doing that shenanigans. I'm just tutoring out dragons. Okay, bro.
Yeah. And even then, it's still really strong. She's a 2-drop. She's a 2-drop, a 2-drop that you can get out super early, and then immediately you take advantage of it.
Like it's same thing with like Yuriko.
Yes.
Like even your weakest version of this commander is extremely strong. Like don't play with me.
I'm telling you,
Magda on the list.
I'm telling you, it's group hug. It's group hug. Discard Yuriko.
Magda, bro. I'm telling you, bro.
I'm running mana flare. You know what I mean? So that you get more mana, right? I got humble defector, bro. Are you seeing it? Yeah, no. Take your Magda decks and understand that it's busted. She's the mono red equivalent, not as powerful as say what's his face Urza, but it's a mono red powerhouse that genuinely can destroy
like if
a
I
game.
see if I see you're playing Magda, like I'm pulling out the big guns.
Yeah.
Like I'm not playing with you, dog.
Yeah, it's safe to say you're not a precon power. On the same venue of, is it too strong? Is it too busted? And the answer is yes. We have T-Pro, Teferi's Protection. You were on that list. Yo, Teferi, you dodged. I don't know how you dodged. The fact that T-Pro wasn't on here, but Cyclonic is, I mean, come on. The one-sidedness of it is what made them say, like, oh, it's a game changer. That's why Cyclonic Rift is a game changer, because it's one-sided. And Teferi's isn't. It's cheap. Don't get me wrong. You don't take away their stuff. But the fact that you literally just like dip.
Hey, I'm out of here.
Yeah, you're just gone. Like at instant speed, no less. If it was a sorcery.
Yeah, I think this is even sort of an issue at like at sorcery speed. Because like you can be like, hey, I'm going to win next turn. Teferi's Pro.
Yep.
And you're just unless they could kill you with commander damage or think like infect.
Yeah. There's a couple janky ways you get around I'm not here right now card, but yeah, no.
Like,
and Teferi sets you up for one-sided things.
Right.
Like you can easily, because it's an instant, you can easily be like, hey, by the way, I'm gonna Armageddon, but not my lands.
I mean, like the bad thing about like Cyclonic Rift is that like it's one-sided and it's instant speed. Teferi's Pro can essentially like sort of do the same thing. If somebody else decides to board wipe at you, Teferi's Pro.
Yeah. Yeah, and like it's not a one-sided board wipe. It's just like a regular blast act.
You didn't even have to spin the mana on the board wipe.
Yep.
You just sorry guys, sucks to suck.
Yeah, thanks. Thirsty.
So yeah, for that reason, we think T-Pro should be a game changer.
GC.
Free stuff. Everybody likes free.
My grandfather always says, if it's free, I'll take 2.
Right. Everybody likes free. I don't know if they did this on purpose. Force negation wasn't added to the list. You got Force of Will. You have Fierce Guardianship, both free counterspells.
Yeah,
but they didn't add Force of Negation, which is sort of weird.
Understand why we didn't do Pact, because you lose. I totally get Pact.
You eventually you have to pay that mana.
Yeah, you got to pay it back. Pact negation, totally get why it's not on the list. Force negation, on the other hand, though, it's from hand. It's not from graveyard. So you can turn 0 play this. It's not like it's irrelevant, but you could. So it's a free spell.
Yeah, if you're going to put the other two, you have to put force and negation. At least with Fierce, you have to play your commander.
Exactly. But on that note, you put Fierce, but you didn't put Deflecting?
Deflecting, yeah. We're putting Deflecting SWAT here. Is it as egregious as like free counter spells? No, but I think it sort of works in the same sort of vein that like you can completely like blow out a player for free.
Yes.
Because a lot of things target. If you're tapped out, I'm expecting you don't have interaction. At least interaction like this. The other free spells.
Yeah, like the mono black one where you exile. I don't think it's that impactful because like a creature being removed, like big deal.
That's the thing. The white one saves your creatures. Mm-hmm. Then we get into the I forget what the cycle is called. The newest cycle where you have to sacrifice a non-token creature.
Yes. Yeah. The flares.
The flares. That's what they are. There's actually sort of a cost because they're non-token.
You could see it coming.
I wouldn't even say that you can necessarily see it coming, but pitching a card out of your hand is not really a cost. Casting your commander is not really a cost.
That one's better, at least.
You having to sacrifice board presence, I think, is actually a cost.
Yeah, no, I can see what you're getting at. I follow the train. Yeah, I see that. I was more just alluding to the freeze. There's like no way to know that they could even do it. You know, you know what I mean? Like you're saying, like, they're tapped out. They have no mana. Like they have no. There's no. They don't have a spell skite. There's no weird crap on the board. You know, I'm safe, and it's like psych. You shouldn't be able to just psych, and then it's.
I don't have a problem with like the psych because at that point we would have to put, I think it's Flare of Negation on here, but specifically, Flare of the Negation actually sort of has a cost.
Yeah, you have to pay a little more.
Sacrificing a non-token creature.
Yeah.
So essentially you paid a cost. Even if it's 1 mana, you essentially paid a cost.
Yeah. Even if it wasn't, for free.
Right. So that's Deflecting SWAT and Force. These lands, I'm surprised, especially one. One is just like, how did this not make it? Mishra's Workshop. I know it's $1 billion.
Is there no other? Oh yeah, these were all.
They're all $1 billion.
Yep. So it's very expensive, no matter what you do.
If somebody pulled this out in a 1, bruh, what are you doing?
Yeah, this is like we have it here. It's kind of the same concept as like you're gonna ban Gaia's Cradle and you're gonna ban Sarah's Sanctum, and like you're
gonna ban fast mana. Like Mishra's Workshop is literally just like crazy fast. It's just to be sort of consistent.
Yeah, it would make all of the already fast mana even faster because it's for artifacts anyway.
Field of the Dead.
I've been surprised the field wasn't just outright banned.
I don't know if field needs to be like outright banned.
I'm saying with that first ban they did.
But I think it's like for the opportunity cost, Field of the Dead is a game changer.
Yes, it is. You're not having to pay anything.
All you have to do is like want to play lands and then just play
not basics,
and then play snow.
Yeah.
Oh, look.
It's a different land.
It's a different land. Like,
yeah.
Field of the Dead is often like super duper low opportunity costs for most decks, and you get a lot of bodies for
nothing.
essentially putting a card in your land base.
And Magic hates generically good cards. Wizards has always not liked generically good cards. Shout out to Golos, free my boy. And so Feel the Dead could literally go in any deck as long as you had enough lands to make it work. And then ta-da, Field works. So yeah, I could easily see Feel the Dead. And also too, expensive. It's a very expensive land. Not as bad as Mishra's, but like you wouldn't just have a Feel the Dead in every deck. You know what I mean? Like, again, all these game changer cards, most of them are expensive. Most of them.
Most of them. This one, it's not like the others. It's not like us.
Ooh.
Scrambleverse.
Oh my goodness.
Like, if you really like look at the definition of game changer, like not in a Magic sense, just game changer whatsoever. Scrambleverse is such a terrible card to have to resolve.
I know there's a select population of Magic that adores these cards. You're very filthy, and I love you. But Scrambleverse just actually makes the game. It makes it so difficult to resolve if it is played when the board state is massive. It's too much. I would just Cyclonic Rift me, please.
Just win the game at that point.
Yeah, like anything else. Scrambleverse is just
Scrambleverse is almost to the point where it's like a endurance card. Like,
yeah, how many of you are not going to scoop?
I really got to sit through this, and then like I could statistically end up with nothing.
Yeah, you could technically hit.
You can technically just get nothing. Bro, throw this card in the trash can. If you're playing Scrambleverse, you need to divulge you're playing Scrambleverse.
Yes, I agree. It should definitely be in a list that lets people know, like, wait a minute, this isn't a precon.
Right, I can imagine like, hey man, I'm playing a 1, but all my cards troll.
No, because
all my cards are troll.
Because that is a deck type. It's called Chaos. Chaos deck types are definitely powerful. That ain't no 1.
I'm just trolling, bro. Like,
yeah, just trolling.
No win con, just trolling.
You know, like everything's like an Atali. You know what I mean? I'm just, you
bro.
know.
You know, it's fine. No, the worst thing that you could do is, if you really want to waste people's time, I forget what the name of the card is, but it says that
oh no,
when you cast a card, everybody else has to cast that card.
Oh, it's not forced fruition. It's like forced fruition.
Yeah, dude.
So you're talking about making like multiple scramble verses is what you're doing.
Dude. Or if you copied this thing, bro, I'd beat your ass, bro. Like,
how to win without winning.
Those are fighting words, dog. I'm beating your ass.
So I'm gonna copy 8 times with storm triggers. Scrambleverse. I'm done. I'm packing up and leaving.
Yeah, I quit. I quit Magic.
Oh man. And then our last ones we got here, just too much value. Very surprised we didn't see these on the list because there were other cards that were already kind of banned that are just value, but they don't break the game. A great example of this is Jezka's Will. I still have
Jezka's Will should not be on here, but like all of these cards are like
Underworld Breach deserves to be here though.
Underworld Breach is probably like the most broken card on the list.
It's one of them, hands down.
All of these are sort of like in that realm of like degenerate value, like Smothering Tithe, and Risk Study. Seedborn Muse.
Yep.
Seedborn, like the fact that Seedborn Muse didn't make it on this list is appalling because every deck that can sort of make Seedborn Muse.
Oh my goodness! Even if it doesn't, it's still amazing. It's pseudo board wide vigilance. Like even if you didn't have anything to use it for, it's just big.
Just untapping and be like, "Hey, bruh, I potentially have something to do."
Yeah, I have all my mana back and my creatures. No, what is it? Dictated Crew Frigs. That's actually outright banned.
Like, Seedborn needs to be a game changer.
Yeah, if Seedborn isn't banned, it needs to be a game changer.
Absolutely. Like, I need to know if you're playing this card. Because I'm playing this card. Necroponents, like, it's...
Again, if you don't know what this does, be blessed that
you've never had to play. Necroponents is so broken that they were like, hey, bruh, here's necroduality. Not necroduality.
Yeah, they pretty much
necrodominance.
Yeah, they remade it without it being.
Hey, bro, hey, let's try this again. No, this card is bananas. Yes. Clearly bananas. It needs to be on here, bro. It's not free like that, dog.
Yeah, whenever you see an effect that it like tells you that you can't draw and everything that goes in the graveyard dies, and we haven't even gotten to the good part, and you don't think it's broken, I promise you that last effect is it's jaw-droppingly strong. And it's, again, this is one of those cards to where if you can take advantage of it, and even if you can't, it's still just generically strong.
You get 2 turns of necroponents, bro. Like, this game's a wrap.
Yep.
Like,
you've gotten everything you needed.
And then finally, Consecrated Sphinx. Like,
such a blue staple. This one doesn't even have a deck type that it goes in. It's just good. It's big. It's got a big butt. It's flying, and then it's even a May, so you don't die to it. And then it's double the card draw that they get. And then you start incorporating wheels or just other people drawing themselves out. Like, in theory, a consecrated Sphinx lets you beat out a person drawing out their deck. Like, if that was their win con.
Like, you know, some of these cards like sort of scale with the power level.
Yes.
Consecrated Sphinx sort of doesn't. Like, even if I get 2 cards from you and that's all I get, I still got 2 cards.
Mm-hmm. And that's like a bad one.
2 more cards. And then your turn. 2 more cards. I come back around and then I draw my card. I have a fresh 7.
Yeah, you just got a full grip. And in theory, you had to pay no more mana for it. And then that's saying they only drew a card. A card. Like, no. Consecrated,
it needs
super
to be on
strong.
here, dog.
It's, again, remember, Larry, we're talking about the fact that, like, this is a card that is powerful enough that it's like, hey, would a pre-con that has no upgrades, could a pre-con with no upgrades handle that? No way. It's going to have to spend 6 mana and sacrifice 2 of its own creatures just to blow up an enchantment. And it's over there like, yeah, I'm doing something.
I'm cool.
They're like, I drew 2 cards. You're like, thank you. I drew 4. Yeah, no. Consecrated needs to be listed.
That's it?
I mean, of course, there are tons of cards that could become game changers, and we are in the beta of this. And so I'd love to know, Larry's, what are cards that you didn't see on our list and Magic's list that you would have thought should have been there? Because me and Honorable had, I would say that, well, not a lot, but there are some cards that we definitely
we were sort of fighting over.
Yeah,
there
there's some cards.
They're not egregious enough, but they're like right on the cusp.
Yep.
I think these cards specifically are egregious.
Yeah, these ones are powerful enough, or if used correctly, which is why we're saying there's probably tons.
And remember, we are coming from this from the perspective that like a 1 or a 2 could not play these cards.
Couldn't handle playing against them and is not going to have anything of their power level.
With that, I am your honorable sensei, and across from me,
the vicious scumbag.
And together we are Longturnlarry Podcast. Game changers?